Hello and welcome everyone. This is Scott Venom with the very last episode in our Xerxes Civilization VII playthrough. This is just going to be a wrap up of our Xerxes series, talking about some things that went well, other things we can improve on, and answering the big question is what is next for this channel and for Civilization VII playthroughs. The Xerxes series went great from founding our first cities, building up that army. However, we just did not capture those capital cities in time. Our military strength was pretty good throughout the game, but there was a couple of mistakes that I wanted to highlight from this very first Civilization VII run that I've ever done. Hopefully we can highlight those mistakes and learn from them in whatever is next. We're going to tease what is coming next on this channel at the end of the video, so please stay tuned for that. So I'm going to run down a couple of mistakes first and some learning points, and then we'll get to that teaser at the end. So a couple of things I think went wrong with this series. First one was definitely the lack of specialization. We tried to do too many things at once, I think. We played Xerxes, which is a very military-focused leader, but we just didn't set our focus and our legacy paths to complement that leader. So we tried military at the start in the Antiquity Age, and then we went to economic for the Modern Age, and the military in the Exploration Age. But we didn't set that clear goal of to exactly what we wanted to achieve with this series, with this leader, and with our playthrough. So I think if we stick to one goal, so stick to military or stuck to economic, and played that all the way through, then I think we probably could have done better and captured capital cities in time. Definitely Xerxes was the wrong leader for a hybrid strategy like that. Xerxes is a really military-focused leader. So we probably should have just played our leader's true strengths, pick civilizations, pick empires to suit that leader's strengths, and then use that to our advantage in the playthrough. The second point, I think that it was definitely a lesson learned, is our scientific output and our culture output lagged behind some of the other civilizations in the game. Our science did catch up in the end, but our just general output of science, getting that tech tree, researching those different technologies was just lagging behind. And when it got to the end game and that last fight on the distant lands, we were trailing because other civilizations had better, stronger military units, and we lost a lot in the mid game and the late game. So even though we may have had a good army and a lot of gold in our treasury, we just had to keep replacing those units, and it was end up costly. So if we were going to go a science victory in the future, definitely prioritize science buildings, get a more refined goal of what I wanted to achieve on the tech tree, and then we could stick to that and boost our science output if that's what we want to go for. Another point that I think really let us down was just mainly focused on the exploration age. We did not use that age to our full advantage. So we didn't have the scouts, the settlers to explore new continents, distant lands, settle on there. We didn't really settle any distant land settlements until the end of the exploration age, where we converted that city-state and we founded Lahore on that distant lands. We should have more aggressively explored during the exploration age, get those distant land grabs with the different resources, and we needed to scout, have open borders with all the civilizations over there, just to have a better view of the map, get those bonuses from relics, and then we could have used that to our advantage, but we just didn't put the focus on exploration. Even though it was the exploration age, we could have got more scouts, more settlers, more ships in our navy earlier on in the game to really explore the full map and settle distant lands, and then got those treasure convoys that would have been really vital to build our treasury up in that age. Fourth point that I didn't think we did too good is our military strength just came way too late in the game. We had some patchiness in the Antiquity Age and in the Exploration Age where we had a good army, but we were just losing a lot of our commanders. Our army was getting whittled down on things where I was just being a bit too aggressive early on in the game, and we were losing a lot of our military dominance that we had to build back up. We couldn't sustain a global conquest or a push to reach those capitals in time for that domination victory because our army and our commanders were just getting whittled down so early on in the game. We had to just keep replacing them as my cat knocks over something from the table. So this first playthrough was definitely a learning curve. We made a couple of mistakes as we tried to better understand the mechanics of the new game. I have played Civilization games before, but this is our very first playthrough of Civilization VII. The new ages, new systems, everything was brand new to me in this game. So if you guys have any comments on what I could do better, I think I touched on a couple of things that we didn't do too good. But if you guys saw anything different in there that I probably could have done better, whether it be founding cities in different spots or anything that I didn't touch on, please let me know in the comments. So a couple of things that went well in that. So thankfully wasn't all too bad. We did get good military development in the late game. We had a really big standing army that we were able to sweep cities with and capture those capitals from those civilizations. We were able to completely take down one of the leaders. And there was some good resource management as well. So our treasury was doing really, really well considering it wasn't an economic type playthrough. It was more military focused at the end game. We were generating a lot of gold per turn. That really helped us out with buying those units to fill the gaps in our army and paying the maintenance for those. So what is coming next on this channel? We're going to stick with Civilization VII, but this time we are going to do a complete focus on the economic victory path. So we're going to be prioritizing the Silk Road legacy, and we're going to be playing as the leader Amina. So I hope you guys enjoy that next series that's coming up. We're going to be learning everything that taking everything that we've learned from this series and putting it into that new one. Hopefully we're going to be upping the production value and the overall presentation of that series. So brand new focus, brand new leader, and a clearly defined victory path. So I hope this next series 2 of my Civilization 7 playthroughs, turns out better than this Xerxes 1 on Series 1. Hopefully it ends in a victory and not defeat like it did this time, but I'm still going to be learning along the way. Still open to comments, still really, really appreciative of everybody who's watching and subscribing to this channel. I know we don't have too many watchers on Civilization 7 because I'm still pretty brand new to the game, but I appreciate everyone who watches. I will see everyone in that next Amina series, and I hope it turns out better than this one. This has been Scott Venom. I appreciate everyone watching, like I said, and I'll see you all in that new series.
Now I am become death, the destroyer of worlds. bombardment, barrage, curtain fire, mines, gas, tanks, machine guns, hand grenades. Words, words, but they hold the horror of the world.
Pachakutichik. Yuyaypi kawsanqa. Mana kurkopi atikuqtinqa.
The urge to destroy is also a creative urge.